I hit stream. And YouTube responds like immediately because that means something else is going to go wrong later. However, it said preparing stream, and then it waited for a solid 30 seconds. So I'm feeling okay again. Okay.
Got it.
Everything is right with the world. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 443, your once-week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tom.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, tech, Homelab. Today, a lot of privacy stuff. We've got Flock in the news, as per usual. They're always in the news. We've got GraphineOS and your rights going over border crossings in the news. We're going to talk about. We've got Chinese memory making waves. We've got lots and lots of fun stuff to talk about. As we go along, obviously we do drink beer on this show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shout-outs. And if you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support us in what we do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description, and that is the only way to get access to my exclusive Discord server, which Tom is also on.
Yes,
I don't want to give you too much.
Tom, I will appear.
I don't want to give you too much credit.
Go, come on. Look at this cup I'm drinking now. This is what matters.
Okay. Our exclusive Discord server. Also, you can go over to craftcomputing.store and get one of these amazing cups.
Or even two of them.
And they are laser etched and engraved right here in-house, including the nucleated bottoms, which is actually a functional piece to them that gives your beer a nucleation site and helps refresh the head as you're drinking. It is actually a feature. So, craftcomputing.store. Go grab yourself some glassware, some coffee tumblers, all kinds of fun stuff.
All the things.
Tom, good to see you as always.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Awesome. I see you were drinking an Athletic, which is awesome. It's one of my favorites.
They just do a good job. I want to start out light. I usually switch to whiskey is my second. Sometimes I have a second beer.
Yeah.
But I want to start with the Athletic. Maybe I'll go for something alcoholic next. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm actually also in a fairly light mood today. So last night was just the second night in the last 9 days that I've slept in my own bed. It has been
is she traveling? Yeah.
Road heavy the last week and a half or so. And I don't travel well. I don't like travel. Like, I love traveling. I don't like traveling.
Yeah,
That makes
I like
sense.
being places. I don't like getting to places.
Exactly. Yeah, it messes with my anxiety. My stomach goes nuts. So
everything's just wrong.
Yeah, so I'm going with a fairly dry week. I've been dry since last Thursday. And I do have a beer here tonight, but I am starting off with a non-alcoholic. So this one caught my eye. Lagunitas. They never do me wrong. They have a hazy IP non-alcoholic. And I can't wait to try this one. So I think we're going to give that one a shot first.
Nice.
In our craftcomputing.store pint glass.
Yeah, I was traveling. I spent last week in Chicago. Chicago's a short one from Detroit here. It's a 45-minute flight, roughly. You go up in the air, and then they're like, "Hey, we're landing soon."
Yeah, that's about my Bay Area trip for me. It's about an hour and 15-minute flight, whether I'm going San Francisco or San Jose. So yeah, not too terrible. I was in San Francisco most of last week, and then I was in Tacoma for the weekend, up near Seattle. Had a pretty good time up there. Unfortunately, the events in Seattle did take place while I was in Tacoma, and so thinking of everyone that had to go through that up there, that's never good things to come across my news feed. But anyway, let's go ahead and give a couple of beer shout outs here. Jason drinking a... Is that an Ninkasi or a Ninkas? I think that's Ninkasi. I think you missed the I. Northwest IPA. Probably their Triceratops, if I had to fathom a guess.
That's a good name.
Yeah. What's funny is Triceratops is their double IPA because it's 3 hops.
3 hops. Nice.
They have so many good beer names. There's the Megalodon. There's Dawn of the Red for their red IPA. Yeah.
These are things I can really appreciate.
Yeah. They're a local brewery, too. They're just down there in Eugene. So
there may or may not exist a special private signal chat just for puns with a bunch of tech people. It's the only thing allowed to go in that chat. It's just...
All right. That might have just convinced me to get on Signal finally.
I was so happy. I talked to a friend I hadn't seen in a minute and went to lunch with him today, and I was happy to find him on Signal. Like, finally. So, and he's a non-technical person. So this is like, I feel like it's really hitting the mainstream. Now, working in the cybersecurity space, it's a natural fit. Mm-hmm. Everyone's on it. In the cyberspace, and pretty broadly in the tech space, I feel. But the normal humans being on it is the trend I've seen in the last year be the big shift.
Yeah.
The Muggles, I guess we'll call them.
Yeah, the Muggles. Yeah, that's a good way.
The
to put
Muggles
it.
have joined Signal.
Michael says Tom and Jeffy. Tom and Jerry puns. So if we're on the pun game, I'll take it. Renfoil says, I like beer. Old Poi says beer for the win. Ed says, with my age, it's water, just water. Water is more than welcome on here.
Yeah. Water's a good idea. Stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Right before the show, I had a nice... we don't sell these anymore, but I am hoping to bring them back. Craft Computing water bottles.
Nice.
So, yeah. I've been looking for... this supplier doesn't make them anymore, and so I'm hoping to find another supplier with a similar quality bottle and bring some water bottles back to the store. Let's see. Michael's got a big-hearted IPA. Fantastic. Harley's got a Surly Brewing, a Raging Furious IPA, 11%. Getting up there.
Yeah, I have one of those in the fridge, and I was like, do I? And I'm like, no, I'm going to go light.
Yeah.
I went from no alcohol or 11%. Those are the 2 beers I was staring at. I'm like, I'm going to go, we'll start out easy.
That's my fridge too. That's my problem is I collect so many like really good beers. Like, legit in my fridge right now, I have 20%ers. I've got a mead that's a 19.5. I've got Dragon's Milks and rare barrel-aged stouts and whatnot. And then I have non-alcoholics and pub beers. And there's no in between. Z-Gamer, I got a beer and a scotch glass. Or just got the beer and scotch glass from the store. Thank you so much. I was thinking you poured beer into a scotch glass. And let's see if we have any more. Rev is cracking into this season's Georgetown seasonal. Junior Zava American IPA, 5.9%. And Ashlyn says, I've retrieved a Simply Spiked Kiwi Peach. Excellent. All right. And of course, a super chat. Right as I was going to jump into the news, Jay chimes in with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Jay. Beer for tonight, Nitro. Gang, 3 Philosophers, 9.7%, 3.95 on Untapped. Speaking of travel sucking, ground stop at EWR last night resulted in not being able to get home till Friday. Oh, that sucks.
Ooh.
I have gone through a couple of those. Single or sometimes multi-day delay. That sucks. That sucks so much.
Yeah, there was a lot of, because of the Canadian smoke, we had up and down on the airport. Airport's up, airport down, airport stopped. This caused some real drama because the reason I was in Chicago last week for a week was all hands for Huntress. So we brought in 700 people. We did not bring in all the 700 people at the same time because it turns out the airport had a hard time with a few people, and they came from Europe and got stuck. And because so many people were stuck, they didn't have a hotel. So their first trip to America,
oh no,
was like staying in a hotel that charged by the hour. So now they have a story because that's the only ones they could find.
I swear more and more airports need to do the Japan system and the Korea system of be able to rent a bed in the airport. Just get us some sleeping pods. Let me be able to, you know, if my flight gets canceled overnight, have a place for people to stay, for God's sakes. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be that difficult.
I think it's a culture thing where I those videos fascinate me, like the Japanese mini hotels and things like that. But I think there's this natural thing culturally where they go, yeah, we can all collectively decide to not be obnoxious and have shared space where there is sound. And we put double drywall on each side of the one, and there's someone just playing their radio at 1 a.m. to the point where you're like, I gotta call hotel because this person has decided to have a party at 1 a.m. and listen and make noise. So I think it's partially the disaster that would happen if we did that here in the U.S.
Part of me just wants to see someone try it. I don't know if it would be successful.
They're the coolest ones are, and I don't know where else these exist, but I went to Boston, and if you look up the Yotel, Yotel, they are. You had IKEAs by you? Mm-hmm. You ever been to where IKEA builds those how to live in 500 or 400 square foot rooms? Yeah. That's what this is. What if you turned a hotel into these tiny, like so small, the bed the bed was automated and it folded up like this, and so you could sound like a couch. It was still a bed. Yeah. It wasn't like a futon, but it had to go up and in just so you had room to walk around it. The room was that small, but it was actually really cool. I enjoyed staying there because I was there for hanging out in Boston. I was just there being a tourist. But me and the wife got it and like, this is actually not bad of a room. Right. Because there was a lot of rooms in the Yotel for the amount of space. Each room was literally probably half the size. Because I think about the wasted space when I go to these hotels. I'm in this room with a double bed, or even you with a single bed. Yeah. There's way more space than I possibly could use in here.
Typically, when I'm traveling, I go to the hotel literally to sleep. It's a place to get dressed, take a shower, and sleep. That's all I want. It.
Bathroom, shower, done. That's all I really want. Because putting one communal bathroom down at the end of the hallway, like in a hostel they might have, I'm good. Like that's like at some point there's a line, and I'm not wanting to do a line for the bathroom.
Yeah, and I'll agree with that. But literally just give me like a little stand-up shower, give me a place to brush my teeth, a place to get dressed, and a place to sleep. I don't need every room to have 2 queen beds and a sofa and a TV and a table and a desk and whatnot. Like if you want that, sure, that I think that should be available. But
I haven't watched a hotel TV in a long, and I travel a lot, so
I can't.
I just it always says like "Welcome, Tom" when I come in there because they put the screen on. I'm like, "Where's your remote?" Off. All right, I'm done with that.
I can't remember the last time I turned the TV on in a hotel room on purpose.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, okay. No more super chats. No more beer. I think we can talk news now.
Not talk to news now.
Not that I'm discouraging super chats. Like keep them coming. Please.
Keep them coming. Keep them
coming. Anyway, we have talked the last month or so about China's up-and-coming memory manufacturer, CXMT.
Yeah.
I talked about it with Tobias last week. I know you and I talked about, the potential for, a little bit of disruption in that space 2 weeks ago when you were on. I didn't realize that CXMT's IPO was happening this week. Like,
I know, I shared that.
I knew they'd been in the news, and I knew like production had been ramping and yields had been good, but I didn't realize they were also going public. Well, not that I'm a stocks player or anything, but holy crap, CXMT is now China's most valuable company.
Yeah.
overtook their national bank. Most valuable company. 486% surge in stock pricing since their IPO release. They are now valued at $486 billion.
That's a half a SpaceX. Actually, I know it's lower. I'd say.
No, it's more than that now.
Yeah. They're 3/4 of a SpaceX.
Yeah. So, talking to some people over this last week about CXMT, I'm both hot and cold on the prospect of CXMT entering the memory space in general. Any competition is always good. Competition breeds innovation, breeds lower prices, breeds consumers winning. Like that is the essence of how economies work.
Yeah. Proper economies without cartels holding us hostage.
Correct. The problem is that CXMT entering the market at a time in which demand is so beyond the roof that this is going to be a drop in the bucket. It feels like. I talked to Tobias last week about, even if CXMT gets approval to sell in the US, the Chinese government may not let them. They may force most allocations to go towards Chinese companies because China is also ramping their own AI productivity and data centers and things like that, the same as we are. Also, because demand is so far through the roof right now, it's not like they're going to come in and immediately proliferate the market with cheap DRAM. They're going to charge what the market will bear because they're in this game to make money the same as any other company. And as I've said multiple times, I never begrudge a company for making money. I'm pretty pro-capitalist in that regard. So them entering the market right now is not going to immediately fix RAM prices. However, it might put some pressure on the existing big three, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, and let them know there is some competition in the space, and maybe this thing you have going on may not last forever. That's kind of the hope.
Yeah. I mean, we all see the cracks coming for the entire AI bubble. And there's all these different people with all these competing positions. And I think it was best described as, if you tell me what someone fears, I'll tell you what they are pro or against on AI for each one of their fears. And it really is so much of it not driven by a positivity, but driven by a fear. Like there's groups that will say, well, we fear China will get ahead of us in AI, or we fear people losing their jobs. And it's really, the entire ecosystem is so just based on different people. We're protesting because we fear the data centers are going to suck all the water up, or the data centers are going to, suck all the power out of the grid and we won't have any, or we're feared. It's really interesting when you start framing it that way and understand that this entire thing, on whether you're pro or against, is fear driven. It's just like wild right now.
Yeah. Locally, we're going through this right now. It was revealed about a week ago that here in Salem, Oregon, our local city council signed an agreement in principle to bring a data center into the city, an AI data center into the city, back in March of 2025, and signed an NDA to prevent the news from getting out. The city council's not allowed to do that. Right. Not only that, they basically agreed to sell them our largest industrial property that is available. Now, the AI company is touting, we're going to bring jobs to the area and everything. 75 jobs.
Right.
And by the way, those are going to be from out of state. They're not employing people here. They're bringing in experts to run the data centers, that the same as every other data center in the country. So yeah, Monday night was our city council meeting. They usually run for about 90 minutes. This one started at 6:30, I want to say, and extended beyond midnight because of public comment. So go my local residents, including people very close to me that I know that were there protesting.
We have the same thing here. We've been in the news a couple of times. The Van Buren Township one that was 404 Media was covering, and the Salem Township one. Those are 20 minutes, 30 minutes from me.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably, just because if it's nice out, I'll drive by there. I would go by and the site, which I like that there's already Google reviews. they're exactly what you expect. They're fun to read. But because it's on the map, but it's the scale and scope it operates at that is just seeing it, because I've been to big data centers, tier 2 places. I've never been to the biggest like tier 1. But like seeing how big this is,
I got a tour of a tier 1 just earlier this year, and the scale is impressive. But guess how many people I encountered that worked at that data center while I was there? 3.
Yeah.
2 of them were security for the front gate.
Yep.
That was it.
The size that they're building there, it's an area I've rode my motorcycle quite a bit. It's just beautiful land, rolling hills. It's an area we refer to collectively. It's on the edge of what we call Irish Hills, just because of the way the landscape and look is. It's a collection of small cities, and they just acres and acres and acres have been dedicated to this. So you just look at it, you're like, they're like building a city here in this rural area. So yeah.
Couple more super chats. Daryl chimes in with 2 Aussie bucks. Just got home from cataract surgery. No cost. Yeah, rub it in. Hope it went well. Enjoy your socialized medicine. Green chimes in with $5. Thank you so much, Green. PLX PCI Express X8 6 slot in an ITX chassis and a Thunderbolt 5 Oculink eGPU dock both arrived today. Is it Christmas? I'm out of my little tech nerd mind. He always cooks up some weird things. And Project Mini Hero chimes in with $7 Canadian. We take those as well. Thank you so much.
Hey, loonies they're called, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Look up Bill C-22 for Canada, because it may have international spread if companies agree to this. What is that one? Bill C-22.
What egregiously awful thing is the Canadian government doing?
Lawless Access Act was introduced in Parliament on March 12th, 2026, aiming to expand police and national security powers, require electronic service providers to assist with data access, and address digital age investigative gaps.
Oh, that's one where they don't like us having privacy.
Yeah.
Another one of those. Just different name.
Yeah. I'm surprised it's not the Think of the Children Act, because that's what we do here.
That's what we do here. Yeah, everything is related. Meredith Whitaker, President Signal, was just asked that question about what about the children type thing. And she has a very pointed answer, because the bigger question she was asked is, what's the thing you have compromised on Signal? What is the thing you did, the compromise you made, or would you make? And what are those circumstances, such as, child safety, the usual rhetoric. But man, she was pointed and very, very clear that she said, there is no compromise. We are the bastion of safety. There is no making exceptions for this. We will not budge. We will not move. She had a very clear point she made on that, and it was good. Then she also went into the talking points of, if the real case was we cared about the children, we would donate. And she had a list of all the things from law enforcement, all that, of we don't fund, that would be better outcomes than trying to remove privacy. And I was like, wow. It was great talk. It's easy to find if you look it up. It was posted about 4 days ago. Nice. A big interview she just did. So
I will definitely be looking that up.
Yeah, I'll drop it in a link, because I sent it to one of my friends as well. So, cool. But I'll throw it a link to you, because I can't throw it a link in the chat.
Yep.
But
yeah, it's one of those government and authoritarian entities always love to say the classic, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. And man, if you've been paying attention, those same figures often move the goalposts on what they're targeting next, and
Yes.
and what is the next thing that they're going after. And look, no one wants to harm kids. Everyone wants to protect kids, which is why it's such a straw man argument that everyone loves to use. But encroaching the rights and privacy of all users to catch one person is a violation of everyone's rights.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And I'm not saying protect those users. I'm saying those users should be outed. But there's also processes that should be gone through to get information that's necessary. It shouldn't be an automatic, opt-in for releasing all of your data. Look at the Microsoft situation we talked about 2 weeks ago with the GDIDs and arresting that user. It's like, well, we caught him. Yeah, congratulations. At the expense of literally every user's privacy.
Yeah.
No one is for that.
No. I did surrender on, not surrender. I chose CatchyOS over PopOS and finally solved some problems with my gaming laptop.
Ooh.
So I was having problems that I just kind of loosely blamed Linux. Some people blame PopOS.
Uh-huh.
The problem was inconsistent. When I would load some games, the keyboard would go, no, mouse can work, keyboard can't. Yeah, but you can Alt-Tab into the OS and sometimes go back in and maybe it would grab the keyboard, but most of the time that didn't work. A reboot would fix it occasionally. But loading CatchyOS and the forums, someone had posted about this. It turns out if you're using a framework, someone had it happened to be framework for me, but someone else, it was just the keyboard they were using. The keyboard for my framework, I have more than one keyboard. The RGB keyboard doesn't work properly. The non-RGB one, swapped to it, works every time. But there's ways you can monkey with it in CatchyOS by playing with, I can't remember exactly what the command was, but there's a command line you can do because it's actually got a language problem with keyboards too, if it thinks it's a different language. So someone really went down the rabbit holes because the one person that was having the problem, one person was having a problem with the keyboard, the other person was having a problem because they're bilingual. So they have multiple languages loaded for their keyboard setup. And which one they choose and which one they set as primary changes whether or not the game works. And I was like, so the forums, the nerds there, thank you, CatchyOS. I understand the problem now. My framework plays games better than ever with CatchyOS, so I'm pretty happy.
Excellent.
Now, I haven't run into a game yet and it'll happen, and the anti-cheat things that don't work in Linux. Nothing I can do about that. So I will run into some things that won't work, but I think with Steam and everybody else like pushing this way, I feel like the experience is getting better. The anti-cheat systems will adapt and start working in Linux environments, and we won't have to ever think about Windows and gaming again, because Windows is just a truly awful experience in every way.
I mean, look up the definition of enshitification, and I'm sure Microsoft is in the first paragraph. Like, how can you go from... Windows has always had like some problems, but for the most part, rock solid stability and compatibility and whatnot, outside of edge cases and weird printer things and whatnot. Like, look, for the most part, Windows has been pretty good for a very long time. Until really late Windows 10 and into Windows 11. Some of the hallmarks and signs were there with Windows 8 when they went, oh, let's go to this weird UI and let's deliver ads to your screen. And people, no, we don't want that. Okay, let's reverse course. Let's go Windows 10. Windows 10 was pretty good. Windows 11, let's let's go.
Well, in my I had a gaming laptop and I wanted to sell it, so I also I have the framework and I had another Asus gaming laptop I bought prior to acquiring the framework. And I was like, okay, I'm going to sell it. Let me just update. Update Windows broke. Crap. Roll back. Update broke again. I'm like, why does it just break? I don't do anything on this, but it opens up in open Steam. That's what it does. And now it can't do that. Reloading Windows, of course, fixed it. In between, I wiped Windows by throwing CatchyOS on it. Then I put it for sale on Facebook Marketplace, which then someone says, I'd prefer Windows. I'm like, fine, whatever. I'll load Windows back on there clean, and it worked. So...
Yep. see, we already covered CXMT. I did have another note in here about all of the people who are trying, or all the companies that are trying to get approval to start using CXMT memory out of China. And the list is actually quite exhaustive. So, oops, why did that not change?
Oh.
What the heck? Come on. I see you. Why are you not? Weird. Yeah, OBS is not updating the screen.
Well, that's a new problem.
Yeah, I've not experienced that before. Okay.
Well, did you load the latest version? It's
did.
A new feature.
let me just quit out of Firefox. I will reopen it. Screen capture on macOS is some very weird things sometimes. So I'm going to chalk it up to that. I'm going to go over here. Nope, it's still cached. What the crap?
Weird.
All right.
That's one of the reasons I haven't moved off my Windows PC for capturing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just doing window capture on Mac OS, and OBS doesn't like to cooperate sometimes. But there we go. So, according to Tom's Hardware, Gigabyte has announced support for CXMT memory all the way up to DDR5-8200 MTS on their socket AM5 motherboards. This announcement comes at the same time. I know I talked about last week that Apple is seeking US regulatory approval to start using CXMT memory in Apple products. HP, Dell, and Asus have also inquired about utilizing CXMT as a supplier. So, like I said,
I don't blame them. I mean, this was a top discussion on both Reddit, our sysadmin, talking about what the new Dell prices were. I think we brought it up last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just but every week there's another discussion going, how do I sell this to my customer? The server that was, $8,000 is now $26,000, and there's nothing different about it other than the price.
Yeah.
The prices are like triple because they have high memory requirements because it's a virtualization server, which memory is generally one of the things it's hungry for, more so than even hard drives. And you're like, now what?
Yep. Yeah, no, one of the things I still do on the side is I still have multiple businesses and MSPs that I work with that they'll go, hey, can you build me a server? Like, they buy Dell, but they also like getting white box quotes every once in a while. And I still generate quotes, and I'll still build the odd server here and there.
But now it's not reasonably priced anymore, though.
No, I've had to take, even before I only did quotes valid for 30 days, I've actually moved that down to 10 days. You need to tell me an answer so I can get this ordered. Otherwise, the memory's going to go up even more.
Yeah, it just goes up every day you wait. That's just...
Yeah.
We got to do like the market price, like they do at the fish store. Like, what's the fish going for today at the restaurant? Market price.
Market price. Yeah. Oh, lobster today. Ooh.
Lobster today. Market price, man.
Exactly. Vince chimes in and says macOS doesn't do window capture, it does tab capture. So even though you select a window, nope, I'm actually doing display capture and capturing only Firefox off the display. So it is capturing my full display, and then it's zoomed into that section of the window, but only Firefox is pushing through that buffer. So that's the way I'm doing mine. So yes and also no.
Yeah.
So in fact, if I switch to another tab now... Yeah, now it works. See, there we go.
Oh,
cool.
That's happy.
On top of CXMT, though, Huawei is supposedly looking at breaking ground on their own DRAM fab. So potentially getting into this game. Now, this is not going to be like tomorrow they're No. This is going to be a
long life cycle on this.
2-3 years probably. It takes time to spin up fabs. We've talked about this multiple times on the channel.
Yep.
But within 2 or 3 years, there could be a fifth player in this game. And dare I say, if Intel was smart, they'd be thinking about it right now too. They have fabs. They have the expertise. Fab is fab. Man.
Build some RAM.
Spin up some DDR5 and DDR6 production. Maybe
then we
even
won't
a little.
Have these
$300
Raspberry Pi 5s.
Right. Yeah.
If anyone didn't see Jeff Geerling, I didn't watch the video yet, but he posted a video on that. So
yeah, no, I watched that literally about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah,
the $320 Pi 5, $400 if you want a CM5, the compute module. Yeah, it's nuts. Sparkles sends over $10. Thank you so much. Hi Jeff, first time catching the show live. Thank you.
awesome.
Just upgraded from a 9th gen Intel to a 7700X with 32 gigs of DDR5 and a 9060 XT 16 gig for under $1,100 brand new. I can now play Space Marine 2. Excellent. I gotta say, you mentioned the specs, and I expected the 1100 just to be for the DDR5, so pretty solid deal you got there.
Yeah,
if I do say so myself. And yeah, quite a leap from a 9th gen Intel. So hope you're happy. That's a ballin' little system. 9060 XT, definitely not a slouch when it comes to gaming. You're going to be quite happy with that GPU for quite some time. And probably the CPU even longer. So congratulations.
Yeah.
All right.
Played that game.
I played the first one. I haven't played the second one though.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how is your athletic beer over there treating you?
Wonderfully. I should have grabbed 2 of them.
I was thinking the same thing on my Lagunitas.
They go down really easy.
This drink's like lemonade. Like
it does.
So
it's like
refreshing.
Fizzy lemonade.
Yeah.
You know what I like is that there's not sugar in it. I don't like sugary drinks. I don't drink soda at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like something about it's just really good. I can drink it during the day and it won't slow me down. So there's I'm just honest, alcohol is not a performance enhancing elixir for me. It may be great for doing podcasts. So I guess since that way it does help my job.
Yeah.
But the part of the job where I have to think cognitively and do lots of things,
nope.
Not drinking does not enhance that.
No,
matter how much I tell myself.
While I'm working, if I'm sitting here doing any writing or problem solving or benchmarking, no alcohol in the studio.
Yeah.
That does nothing but bad things for me. But during the podcast, it does loosen me up a little bit. It does help conversation flow a little bit. Although 0%. And these are great too. I really like this one. Now, they say hazy IPA. It's supposed to be a hazy. I'm not getting any hazy flavor. I am getting a lot of hop, which I definitely like. But I'm not getting, like, any of the citrus, any, like, orange, mango, pineapple, guava, like, some of those hazy flavors.
I probably should have grabbed the hazy. I know Athletic makes a hazy one.
Yes, they do.
This one's good.
Yeah. I've had Athletics before, and unfortunately, I have the same complaint about that one, and basically all NA beers that I've tried. I've tried a bunch of hazies, and I would love to find a good non-alcoholic hazy.
Yeah, they're missing that part.
None of them have fit that definition yet, and I'm waiting for one to finally crack it. I don't know how, I don't know where, or if they'll do it. But, man, if they could get, like, that intense flavor of a hazy into an NA beer, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Solid. Very, very solid. But not a hazy.
See people talking about trying to decide between the 9060, 9070, or 97 XT. Yeah. It's tough when you're trying to find a video card.
Yeah. Thinking of building something, not sure if to get the 9060 XT or 9070 GRE or offer a leg up to get the 9070 XT. Check out my review of the 9070 GRE. For $550 with 12 gig, it's gonna be one of the best cards that you can find that probably won't spike in price because it only has 12 gigs of VRAM. So you're more likely to find that one in MSRP than you will a 9060 XT with 16 gigs or a 5060 with 16 gigs or anything like that. It's much less desirable for AI workloads because it has 75% of the memory. It is going to outperform the 9060 XT pretty handily in most cases. Is it as fast as the 9070? No. But for $550, I think it's a phenomenal card. So yeah, if you want a game at 1440p, and you want ultra settings and 90 FPS, 90 to 140 FPS, and basically any game, ultra settings, turn it on, don't even think about it, go. That's the card, is the GRE. If you want 144 and you're like, if you're a frame whore, then 9070 XT is probably what you're going to want. But yeah, for most people who just want to play games and want a really solid card, 550.
I know, probably unpopular opinion. I'm fine with a lot of games just at 1080. I'm not pixel peeping going, oh no, I need the absolute, insanity. Mm-hmm. Give me a good refresh rate. Give me a good game.
Yeah.
There's what I care more about. Because I gotta admit, I mentioned last time, and I've got a lot more hours into it. I've become a little bit obsessed with the Minecraft Dungeons game on the Switch. It plays really well.
Yep.
It's got the Minecraft. It's not Minecraft. It's a dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
But it's got the weird Minecraft graphics. They're not amazing. It's not eye candy, but it's just good fun, and that's the part I care about more.
Yeah. I have been playing the absolute crap out of a game called Everything is Crab. It is a roguelike evolution game where kind of like the on-land version of Spore. So if you ever played Spore way back in the day, where you're going around and killing creatures and collecting resources and then evolving your creature, that's the gameplay.
Got it.
But it's super fast paced and it's roguelike. So you start as a blob every time and you evolve different features. So you can get a beak and they all give you different attacks or different defense or different special abilities and whatnot. And it's all random. It's just a heck of a lot of fun, and you can sink 20 minutes into it and then walk away. And those are kind of my favorite types of games.
Yeah. I see someone mention every time I see Voodoo 3DFX. The early days.
Yes.
The early days of stuff. Those were amazing.
Yep.
When you started interpolating cards and that.
Good times. Good times. All right. You ready to
Oh yeah.
Ready to get controversial?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's rustle some jimmies, shall we? Flock is in the news again.
Shocking.
Yeah, weird. Flock, Ring, and Atlanta's network of more than 28,000 integrated cameras. You would think that city has no crime. You would think that no crime goes unpunished in that city, right? Atlanta's one of the most surveilled cities on the planet. It outdoes most of China. It is absolutely nuts, the number of cameras and the constant surveillance that city is under. Well, since 2017, Atlanta's crime clearance rate, that is the number of solved or dropped crimes, is flat since they started installing Flock cameras 9 years ago. It has done absolutely nothing for their crime rate or their crime clearance rate. This is according to the FBI's data collection, which Atlanta reports to, Atlanta Police Department, all the sheriff's offices, all of them report to this. And so this is their aggregate data collection. And you would think if anyone had incentive to lie about it, it would probably be the FBI right now, under the current administration. So 28,000 at least cameras that we know about, because Flock doesn't publish the actual number of cameras, but according to dflock.org, which is the crowdsourced Flock locator, there are over 28,000 cameras in Atlanta. And by the way, this article also has a whole bunch of branching articles for all of their sources for all of this information as well, including 404 Media, Flock Safety's own press releases, etc. This is a pretty great article. Well, if we scroll down, we can see, hey, look at all the cameras that are on DFlock in Atlanta. This is the map of them.
Yeah.
If we scroll down a little further, here is over the last 4 years of reported data, so all of 2021 and all of 2025. These are the number of clearance rates. Now, a clearance is either a solved or an arrest made in a crime, or it could also include a victim of a crime decides not to press charges. So it could be a crime that was reported but then later dropped. Those are what's considered clearance. Okay? These are the rates. Criminal homicide, 53% in 2021, 48% in 2025. Difference of 5%. However, the variation year by year was 14%. And so 5% is within the noise. That's also the largest difference out of all these reports.
Everything else is just the same.
Yeah, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, burglary, all other larceny, motor vehicle theft, theft from motor vehicle, shoplifting, all of them changed less than 2%, plus or minus. And again, all of them, that is well within the margin of error, as they changed upwards of 5% year over year during that time. Well, the clearance rate is about the same, but did crime go down? Did the number of crimes go down? As that turns out, also no. So the red is the number of crimes. So this is the number of homicides reported. And as you can see, going back to 2020, we're basically flatlined with a couple of spikes here and there. If we keep scrolling down, human trafficking, the green is reported offenses and the red is cleared offenses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cases of human trafficking have been solved in the last 6 years. If we go down to motor vehicle theft, number of reported incidents versus number of solved incidents. If we scroll down, shoplifting. Shoplifting is up. Number of clearances is not. And by the way, this is the number of clearances, not the percentage of clearances. So shoplifting is up, and they're not even solving an increased rate to go with the increased amount of crime there. Same thing with theft from motor vehicles. Drug offenses. Drug offenses is slightly higher clearance rate, but also, or slightly more clearances, but also slightly higher overall incidence as well.
Yeah.
This is across the board.
Yeah. And one of the things that's interesting, and a lot of people have probably followed Ben Jordan, who, by the way, lives right outside Atlanta.
Right outside Atlanta, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's got an upcoming video, and he's talked a little bit about it. Mm-hmm. But Flock is a pretty, along with the data centers as well, universally hated by the right and the left. Yeah. And it doesn't even, I don't even say it's a political thing anymore. It's the oligarchy versus people that aren't the oligarchy. Yeah. that's really what it's come down to at this point. Mm-hmm. I've seen more and more, lots of controversy here. Police here abused it. Mm-hmm. There was the drive, if you're into the car scene. I don't know if you've seen, they had an article about a guy who blocked their license plate wrong. I mean, he got swarmed by the police for driving a stolen vehicle that wasn't stolen because Flock got the plate wrong. Yep. There's just so many thing after thing. Now, I did not watch it yet, but the headline made me smile, and the comment section was alive. In passing, apparently the drive, pretty popular amongst normal non-technical people. Mm-hmm. That turned into the Flock CEO deciding he should go talk to the drive. Let's just say that they let him go, and he said I just seen Grabbing quote something like, "The Flock CEO thinks there should be cameras way more than there are, and that would solve all the problems with the cameras, that we had like 10 times the cameras." And apparently all they said, he's the Flock CEO, I hate him as much as I thought I would. I was like seeing the comments going, yeah. So like, this is great.
Yeah. Sometimes the best thing you can do to idiots is just let them keep talking.
Yeah. Don't interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yep.
Like, that's good advice.
Precisely.
And it's not like we didn't know about this. So if you go back in my own history, in 2018, it was when I started how they got hacked, cybersecurity with a couple of my friends. Mm-hmm. And we're all Detroiters. And we talked a lot about Project Greenlight, long before Flock. I say long. It's not that 2018 was that long ago, or at least I don't want to believe it was. So, Project Greenlight started, and Detroit was the test bed for it because of our high crime rates and things like that. And Project Greenlight, it was a cooperative, ran in Azure, oddly enough, but a cooperative system between party stores, gas stations, any type of entity that had outward facing cameras. They wouldn't use the inside the party store. They take the outward ones, and it was a collective database so they could look up common vehicles, things like that. Let's just say we had article after article we brought up of the egregious behavior by the city of Detroit. They gave them a tool they were not trained on. They abused it. They used it improperly. It identified people wrong. The city got sued so many times over these cameras. So Flock to me is like, could we have predicted this? And absolutely. If you take the test bed of Detroit and go, that was a failure of epic proportion, let's build Flock on the same failure mode and make it a nationwide failure. So here we are in 2026.
And here's the thing. I don't necessarily disagree with things like private companies having AI surveillance tools and whatnot to protect their own property. And I have talked at quite some length with Rhett on this show about his experience in loss prevention and various related endeavors that he's done.
Shrinkage, as we call it in the retail industry.
Right, yeah, shrinkage as we call it in retail. But I have mentioned with pretty high regard organizations like Target. Target has one of the most infamously ruthless loss prevention teams and systems that the world has ever known. There was
they're good at targeting people.
Yes. They build profiles on people. They track you as you walk in. They use facial recognition. They track credit cards, purchases, activity within a store. They monitor your gait. They see what items you purchased, what items you didn't purchase. There was a guy who did a Reddit thread many years ago. This was like 2017, I want to say, about the profile that Target had built on him. Because he used to go around and steal DVDs and sell them to pawn shops. And so he'd go to like the 20 Targets within, his state, and he would steal 20, 30 DVDs at a time. And he'd walk into the store, he'd collect the DVDs, he'd walk out of the store, he'd go collect more, he'd go sell them to a pawn shop. Target knew. Target had literally itemized inventory of every single thing he had ever stolen over like a 3-year period. And they waited until he hit, felony level offenses.
Yeah.
But he goes, I walked into a store one day, and as soon as the doors opened, these two guys in suits stood in front of me and said, Mr. So-and-so, and used my full name and said, please walk with me. And he goes, I walked to a back room with them, and they dropped, classic good cop, bad cop scene. They dropped a folder about this thick in front of him and said, here's everything you have ever stolen from us. He goes, they knew my address history. They knew where I had lived. They knew my girlfriends at the time. They had every phone number that I had ever had. They had my high school records. They had everything. I don't really have a problem with a private company doing that and pursuing charges in that way. You're walking onto their property. You have no expectation of privacy when you walk onto private property.
Yeah.
It's a little different when it's the government, when it's surveilling streets that you're walking down or putting cameras outside your front door, or, I should be able to go about my daily business in public without surveillance.
Yeah.
And
so,
the
more surveillance you put, the more you change people's behavior. If you look this up, it's called the Hawthorne effect. It's how you change what you do when you're being observed, or when you're being observed, more specifically, because some people don't even know they're being observed, and it is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I don't think anyone here. I don't know anyone who's pro Flock outside the CEO and people that make money off of Flock. Those are the only pro Flock people. So
yeah. That and city council members who are getting kickbacks from the contract.
Oh yeah. That's it's kickbacks, and there's some here that are just dumb.
Yeah,
that's the way I would describe it. They were arguing because a couple of the cities got the flock drones.
Oh, HOA presidents are probably for it. That's.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, that's the other one that I can see.
Yeah, HOA is an awful thing. I really had to look around when that's one of the reasons we end up where we are is I would not move anywhere with an HOA.
Neither would I.
So,
yep.
Yeah.
The one time I considered it was because I was looking at a property that was part of a private airport. And the property that I was looking at came with a hangar.
Yes.
And I'm like,
those are cool.
I will pay those dues.
Yeah, I know, my friend. I was actually surprised at how inexpensive those are to have a community, like relatively, like it's. I was like, that's cheaper than I thought. I didn't know you could go move somewhere. That I didn't know like that was the thing until my friend brought it up and I started searching for these properties. I'm like, oh, common shared airstrip. There's like 10 houses, common airstrip.
Yep.
Each person has their own hangar, not garage. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, the property was a 2,500 square foot house on a half acre, and it also came with a 4,000 square foot hangar and access to the private airstrip. I didn't need access to the private airstrip, but I really wanted the hangar. Yeah. And there's a couple people there that like that. Like, They use the hangar for like a collection of cars and stuff like that because it's nice and easy. And where else can you get garage space that's 20 feet outside your back door?
But I have a few. Once I've learned from my plane friends, travel gets a lot easier.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't worry. Jeff just gets in a plane that he fits in comfortably and goes to the place he wants to go and the schedule you'd like to go there.
Yeah, no, had I bought the hangar, that would have been next on the list.
Yeah,
was a plane to put in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
stuff.
nice. Yeah, I have a couple plane friends too.
Yeah, it just how quickly you can get places.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah. I've talked to you before about, I also hate travel because I'm also 6'4". I don't fit on planes. And I also refuse to pay 3 times the price of my ticket to go to San Francisco, which is an hour and 15-minute flight, so I can get a first-class seat where I can have 3 inches more legroom. It doesn't matter anyway. And so, I cram myself into stowage, as I call it, and put on some headphones and please don't touch me. Like, that's how I travel.
It's the one time I envy people who are very small in stature.
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. Being tall is not perfect. There's things I don't like about it. I live with constant back pain, and I'm constantly aware of how dirty the top of my fridge is.
Yeah. What else do we got next on the news story here?
Oh. I mean, you brought it up, but there's, all the various incidents of how many times the police have violated their terms of service for flock or
yes.
28 instances of police stalking romantic interests or ex-lovers. Here's one from the EFF about flock safety surveillance abuses in 2025, and this is a very long article. CNN, inside the growing police use and misuse of flock's license plate reader cameras. There's the very well documented, thank you, Ben Jordan, of, our license plate readers don't record video. Except, yes, they do.
Exactly.
There's, this is just the last 2 months of Flock articles on 404.
Yeah.
This is from May to July. So I have all of those. I brought them all up to kind of prove that point and drive it even more home. If you are not aware of Flock, please go read all of these. Please.
Yes.
Please get educated.
Yeah, show up at your city council meetings. You'd be shocked at how many city councils we've had a lot of overturns here. LAPD, possibly the most hated PD in America. Yeah. they even got they overturned theirs. They canceled their contract.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. They tried to come into Salem, and they immediately got booted out. Like, they installed a couple cameras, and the city immediately went, no.
I live among the only cities that don't have flock. All the adjacent cities have it. And I'm friends with the people that run the city here.
Yeah.
Good interaction with them, and they are not for flock. It is not on their roadmap. I've talked to them. They're like, hell no.
Yeah. So, we do have obviously the local Home Depot and the Lowe's and a couple other places.
I can't say they don't exist because they are. We have a Lowe's and it has a flock.
Yeah, and that one, I don't like that. Yes, that's a private company doing the contracting, but they're also feeding the national algorithm and creating tracking on the national database, and I don't think that's okay, although it is still private property and is within their right, but it's also my right to not shop there. I don't have to go to that location. I do have to drive through the local intersections, though, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, and one of the other differences as well, I've seen someone mention Axon cameras. They work differently, and they are locally stored. This is how, like, even the body cam footage and a lot of that, made by the same company, the Axon company, that all goes into a local storage at the PD. And some of the ones they do have, they're not, that I have seen, maybe Axon has a new product I'm not aware of, but my understanding is the current generation, what they do have certain cameras they offer that do offer the features similar to flock, but not in the same way. They don't all go to a national database. They're like, okay, we can flag a vehicle in your city to your PD. That goes to your servers, kind of like self-hosted versus cloud-hosted.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine at some point, if Axon figures out a way to get funding and make money the way Flock is, they would probably do that and try to be a quiet alternative.
I'm going to piss you off or about Axon. I believe it was 2024. Axon acquired a company called Fusus, F-U-S-U-S. Fusus, their main expertise is collecting data footage and from multiple sources and making it accessible via the Flock network. That's an Axon product now.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not encouraging them doing it because our city also does not have a bunch of Axon cameras. They have body cams on our police department, but they don't have any other type of that type of surveillance going on.
One of the funniest things that I've seen, that this popped up just a couple hours ago on Reddit, and I thought I'd close the Flock conversation with this one. There was last week a guy, I forget where he was at, but he went before his city council and he said, we're instituting, our community is instituting a new safety program to help keep all of our elected city council members safe. We're going to put cameras outside of all of your houses and track all of your activity. Don't worry, we won't use it for evil, or we just want to make sure that you and your families are safe and that we know where you're at all times and that we track where you drive and who you talk to and what phone calls you make and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, does that sound not okay? Well, that's what Flock's doing and that's why it's not okay for us.
Right. That was a good Reddit post too.
Fantastic. Yeah. There's another one, and some people are starting to put things together. Go to Thingiverse. You can download a Flock STL. People have recommended putting them outside your city council houses. Don't do this destructively. Don't cause damage or anything like that. Certainly don't trespass. But man, if they could wake up and just see like 6 cameras pointed at their garage, maybe they'll think about it. I love this as a, non-violent, non-destructive protest. Just why hang up a sign when you could hang up a sign with a neon light pointing at a camera that's pointing at someone's door? Now, this is not a functioning camera. It's just a 3D print. But I think this gets the point across. I like this. I like this a lot. Old Poi, member for 18 months. Thank you, my good friend. Becoming a member of this channel is one of the coolest things you can do. It's also very reasonably priced. Thank you so much. Michael, member for 47 months. To be fair, I'm not afraid of Flock. I'm more afraid of the AI. If the cameras weren't AI and weren't automatically tracking you via database and it wasn't searchable and time coded and everything else, and they weren't doing facial recognition, if it was just about active surveillance, I'd be a little more okay with it. I mean, 2%.
Yeah, 2%.
Yeah, because there are advantages to having cameras in places. It's the constant surveillance and the constant tracking, though, that I have a really serious problem with. And the retroactive search to the beginning of time. We only keep data for 30 days. Bullshit. That's also been proven false.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not against cameras and traffic cameras and things like that. It's, oh, this person recently popped up on our radar. What's their history like? Literally put their face into the database and it tells you their entire movement history for the past 2 years. That's not okay.
Yeah. Well, especially when he gets it wrong. And
right, especially when it gets it wrong, and it constantly gets it wrong.
That was the problem with Project Greenlight. That was the problem with the guy who was detained by the police because it misread a license plate.
There was one in Oregon who's been pulled over like a dozen times over the last year or so because they've been falsely flagged as having stolen plates.
Craziness.
Yeah.
What is the next news topic? Surely it's better than this one. More positive.
Graphene?
I figured it's where we're going next. We're just going down the rabbit hole.
By the way, Greg, thank you for becoming a new member. Much appreciated. I think before we get into this one, I'm going to crack officially a beer. So, Silver Falls Brewery, Lookout IPA. This one's a nice middle of the road, 6.2% IPA. 6 different kinds of hops.
Nice. I'm gonna go grab a beer because this seems like a wonderful idea. So I'll be right back.
Excellent.
I did not. One of these times I'll have the foresight to bring one with me. I'll be back.
Awesome. From Silver Falls Brewery, Lookout IPA, Nugget, Amarillo, Cascade, Idaho 7, Mosaic, and Cashmere hops. I've had this one, but it has been quite a few years, so I don't remember what it tastes like. And of course, we'll be putting this right into one of my Craft Computing pint glasses, which you can get over at craftcomputing.store. Designed and made right here in-house on my laser cutter out in my garage. Jason says, nice can art. Yeah, no... those who know me know I shop for can art first. Beer second, can art number 1. And man, I love a good Lookout picture. Really good looking beer too. Like, fantastic color. Go. And while you're on craftcomputing.store, you can get some of our stone coasters, which are also designed and made right here in-house. This is one of my favorites, the Doom install disc, but made for beer. Jeff judges his books by the cover. You're damn right I do. Look, I love the phrase, you eat with your eyes first. Presentation is very, very important. Sell me on what you have first. I won't necessarily judge a book by its cover when I'm done reading, but I will buy a book specifically because it has a good cover. All right, what do you got for beer number 2 there, sir?
You know, I was gonna grab another Athletic, then I seen the 11% stuff, and then I was like,
it wore you down.
No, I went in between.
Oh, okay.
My wife's beer. So this is the beer of choice for her.
You know, nothing wrong with a Michelob Ultra.
They're fine. I'm more of a Miller High Life person, but this is what's in the fridge because that's what she bought.
Yep. Like I said, I'm more of a 10-barrel pub beer, maybe a Rainier every once in a while if I'm going, a nice light beer. But, yeah, to each their own. What I will say is it looks fantastic in this glass. All right. So, GrapheneOS. This is a project I'm sure anyone who's security conscious is quite aware of and already knows about the feature we're going to talk about. But this feature is making the rounds in the news because a particular feature was used at a border crossing point in a way that, boy, I don't even know who's right and who's wrong. Outside of like the privacy morality thing, I don't know legally who's right and who's wrong in this story, and that's, I think, why it's also getting such wide publicity right now.
Oh, I have strong opinions.
I have strong opinions, but also legally, like rock solid legal defense. I'm not sure because
it's
let's
not
talk about it.
Evidence. Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Precisely. So GrapheneOS, for those unaware, is essentially a fork of the Android operating system that includes absolutely no Google whatsoever, is incredibly locked down. Basically, firewall's not the right word, but basically has an ingress-egress system built into it where you can allow or disallow rights for every single application and service that go into your phone. Very similar to how macOS works, where every time you install an app, it goes, hey, this app is going to look at your screen. Is that okay? Hey, this app is going to turn on when you turn your phone on. Is that okay? Hey, this app can access your microphone. Is that okay? Very, very similar system of privacy and protection built into the root OS. There's a feature inside of GrapheneOS that is called a Duress Passcode. So everyone knows you turn on your phone and you enter a passcode or use biometrics. You shouldn't use biometrics. We'll get into that later. But you enter a passcode, it unlocks your phone. Not only does that unlock your phone so you can access it, but that's also a decryption code for your phone in most modern mobile operating systems. And so your phone is encrypted by default, and entering that password decrypts your phone so you can use it. Graphene goes a step further. They have what's called a Duress Password, so you can unlock your phone, or if you enter this secret second passcode, it will wipe your phone. That's what this story is about. Atlanta activist Sam Tunick was going through an international airport, was going through a border crossing, when he was detained by Border Patrol. They seized his phone, interrogated him for multiple hours, refused him access to a lawyer, accused him of having CSAM on his phone, of which they have thus far presented zero evidence for that claim.
It was just a pretext.
It's a pretext. It's a pretext for the search. After multiple attempts to get a lawyer, they said, well, you need to give us the passcode or we're just going to seize the phone anyway. And so he gave them the Duress Password. They entered the password into the phone. It wiped his phone. They are now charging him officially with destruction of evidence. This gets dicey really quick. And again, I'm not going to argue the morality quite yet. I just want to go through like the legal border crossing and what rights you do and don't have, because your rights are a little bit different at an international crossing.
Correct.
Border Patrol agents do have rights to search and seize
without warrant. That's where that starts.
They still kind of need probable cause, although random searches and whatnot are also fully legal at border crossings, and so that is another thing to keep in mind. But once you are detained, you should still be given rights to a lawyer. That is still a thing. Like, if you're going to be actively interrogated, more than just brought aside and, hey, where are you coming from and where are you going? Okay, we need to step into this other room. Let's ask you a couple more questions. If it goes beyond one or two questions, that's an interrogation. You are still granted access to a lawyer, or should legally still be granted access to a lawyer. He was not. Number two, the Fifth Amendment still entitles you to not have to give up passcodes for a phone.
Yep.
You do not have to give Border Patrol agents your passcode. You do not have to unlock your phone. Now, this gets dicey because if you use biometrics are not privy to the Fifth Amendment. Biometrics are something that they can take from you.
Because it's something you are.
Exactly. So if you use a fingerprint, they can take your fingerprint and unlock your phone. If you use face identification, they can hold the phone up to your face and unlock your phone. If you are at all privacy conscious, you should not be using biometrics at all for any reason. However, Sam was not using biometrics on his phone. His phone had a passcode. They demanded his passcode. He gave them a passcode. That passcode wiped the phone. Here's also where it gets dicey. I hate to... I don't want this to come out that Sam did indeed have CSAM on his phone, and he did destroy evidence. That's abhorrent. But, much like the Flock discussion, an erosion of rights for everyone to catch one person is still an erosion of rights for everyone. And he's not the one who entered the passcode. That's kind of where I'm at with it. He gave them a passcode. They entered the passcode, and that passcode wiped the phone.
Their allegation is that there's also 404 did the actual interview with the person, and there's a year between this incident and when they chose to charge him.
Yeah.
2, he's part of the group of protesters in Atlanta, which if you dig into that story, your mind will explode. I got to meet several people last year. They spoke. I spoke to them at a hacking conference I was at, which is HOPE, Hackers on Planet Earth. I describe it not just as a hacking conference, it is also a hacktivism conference. And there was a lot of digital rights protection. As a matter of fact, one of the really good presentations was a lawyer talking about what to do in different situations. And a lot of it was really interesting, counterintuitive than what you might think. Those talks are completely free and available for anyone that wants to dig through Hope's talks last year. If you want links or whatever, tag me in the in Jeff's Discord and I'll drop them in there. But it's really interesting because they, I believe, charged them. They turned a group of protesters. I believe the first thing that failed was charging with the RICO Act.
Yeah.
Then the next thing they did was charge them with domestic terrorism for protesting, which it is crazy because what they'd actually done was told them they have to leave. We're trespassing you on these property, and then wouldn't let them leave so they could trespass and arrest them.
Yeah.
So they got to tell their story, and it was just like wild. They had videos of everything that happened. This is what, as this went through the courts, this is what got them dismissed. But the courts have changed since the last several years, since these cases have happened. So they're actually bringing up more because we'll just say the current administration has got their fingers on these things. And, just like the
might
gentleman
have a finger on the scale.
Yeah, just like the gentleman who moved a sign and allegedly handing out flyers talking about things, or moving a sign is enough to also get you time in prison. Yep. So, yeah. So with the things changing, this is why these are delays. It took time to tip the scale. So this is it's not a slippery slope anymore. Yeah. That's where we were a few years ago. We're skiing downhill, man, blind.
Right.
So this is definitely, but I'm of the understanding.
We should also preface this is not legal advice. This is our interpretation of what we're seeing and the reports that we've read.
Yeah, that's why I say my understanding, and I'm not a lawyer, and I'm certainly not your lawyer. Is that there's not evidence, so you can't destroy evidence when you don't know what it is, because there's to have something actually be evidence and not be a pretext. A warrant has to be drawn up, even at the Border Patrol. At least from reading this, I believe, on Reddit, our law, when it was being discussed, which people who claim to be lawyers on Reddit also don't know that I really think they are. They also could just be really good at prompting.
Yeah.
They seem more well-read than me on the topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
interesting,
because,
and I think it's something people should definitely consider.
Yeah, just because Border Patrol claims they are looking for something does not mean you still don't have rights to that item. And doesn't mean the data is not still yours. Oftentimes again, not a lawyer, not legal advice, oftentimes if a search is being conducted, you will be informed that a search is being conducted. You will be informed precisely what evidence they are looking for. And if they are not looking for, or if they are going to seize the item, they will inform you that you are not to... You will get an order to maintain that data. So, again, the fact that this was out of Border Patrol kind of throws a wrench into the whole legal process, because Border Patrol does have rights at a port of entry that normal procedures and normal constitutional amendments do not apply to at this point. However, you still have rights at a border crossing. You still have due
You're still
process.
a U.S. citizen.
You are still a U.S. citizen. You still have due process. Even if he wasn't a U.S. citizen, he still has rights to due process. And like you said, the fact that these charges are being brought a year after this incident happened, the fact that they were charging him with domestic terrorism and then seemingly from the outside looking in, looking for reasons to harass him, definitely throws this whole thing into question. Now, what rights does Sam have when it comes to wiping his own phone or giving a duress password so the phone will automatically wipe itself? That's, I think, what is at question here.
Yeah. When they wrote the Constitution, they didn't have GrapheneOS in there.
Right.
Fun times. I've seen someone say sovereign citizen. It's just, if you haven't seen it, the movie Sovereign's pretty good. Nick Offerman kills it. So
I haven't seen that one, but I'll watch anything with Nick Offerman in it.
Oh man, him playing a sovereign citizen. Oh, we'll just say it is so good.
It's everything I want it to be.
It's everything you want it to be. It's a dark movie. So we'll just leave it at that. It's very dark. Obviously Nick Offerman played that role in Parks and Rec, but working for the city, working for the government, and him being a sovereign, it just Nick Offerman.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's all you need to say.
Say. I'll watch if he's in something. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. So, obviously, Tom and I, pretty big privacy advocates, pretty big rights advocates when it comes to your own data sovereignty and things that you can do and things that you should be subject to. This whole situation definitely has my hair standing on end for a number of different reasons. The overreach of a search, the refusal to allow a lawyer in Sam's interrogation, the threat of seizure of a phone for under false pretense of you're a domestic terrorist, and suddenly there's CSAM on here.
As myself, someone who attends many hacking conferences, including I should not be in any way afraid to say I attend the Hope conference. Right. And it's at what point do they consider us criminals for just attending that conference? The conference is so Hope 2025, the venue that it was held at, they are no longer welcome at. They had to find a new venue because the school said it was a bit too political. I mean, no, it was just revealing. We had a CIA whistleblower to give a talk, which was fascinating. I had the talk from a Doge whistleblower there, so there were some things that were controversial. We also had a really good talk on understanding torrents. Now, first, this is something that was really good research, and it turns out the belief, although we cannot find proof, but the belief based on some really interesting statistics is that the movie companies themselves are some of the seeders, and they explained everything behind it. Also, the fact, one of the ones that was interesting is 1 minute after some of the shows were released and done is when the torrent would drop. They said there's no way to drop it 1 minute after with all subtitles, all everything. You can't rip it and get it done this fast. And they started tracking who these people were that were doing it and putting a lot of analysis together.
Weird. There's a server in Orlando hosting a lot of that. There's a server in like Sunnyvale hosting a lot of that. Weird.
And it's weird because they were using it to track statistics, and they were showing how they believe the movie companies use it to track statistics of popularity as a show because the desire for someone to pirate it. And they can do this because the niche of people that do this is so small compared to the average humans that just watch it. Yeah. So it's one of those, we can get some data from this and then use that data. The legal pursuit of these people doesn't yield enough to stop them. Yeah. So it becomes this really weird, but it was a great talk. Yeah. it was a very data-driven talk by a bunch of hackers that put this together, and I was like, okay, this is fun.
The really interesting legal aspect about that, it has been, I won't say known outwardly, but theorized for a very long time that the movie industry directly is torrenting or is seeding a lot of these early torrents. The interesting thing about that is if that is in fact the case, then any threat of legal action for downloading that is null and void. Because you can't make your property available for free via freely available means and then sue someone for downloading it. It's you who did it. And so if that's ever found out and proven...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like talks like that. They're fascinating. Yeah. There was a lot of that there. So there's a lot of hacking, and hacking has always been at the intersection of politics to an extent. So back when it was when hacks were very illegal, before we had safe harbor for even reporting things, it's the long history has been interesting. Hey, kind of on a fun hacking note, if anyone didn't know, so some people are making it out to be a bigger deal than it is, but DEF CON has always had a don't take photos policy. Yeah. But they've banned specifically glasses with cameras and said don't wear them. Obviously, looking at you, Meta, and I have a few friends, obviously my non-technical friends, that like these things. I'm like, please no. Yeah. It's just fun. It's one more thing. Like, come on, man. He's got enough data. I just want to sit on my porch and have a beer with you, not be filmed.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So do you want to talk about the Hugging Face anatomy of attack?
Yeah, let's go there, and then we've got also someone who's kind of using a similar thing to protect themselves. Yeah, let's do that. So you posted this one and or added this to our list, and you didn't give me any context. You just said this one's fun. It's a cool visualization. So I'm gonna put the visualization up, and I'm gonna let you kind of walk us through.
So this is Hugging Face. Their debrief on OpenAI's debrief on hacking Hugging Face, and big scary model attacked other model and escaped, blah blah blah. So these are actions.
Is a strong word, but yeah,
it's a strong word, and it certainly, as someone said, it was obviously some top posts in lots of places. Love the memes that were flying around about it, because someone said this reads more like marketing and less than a differ report, and someone says, brother, got bad news for you. Right. If it comes from these AI people, we're all skeptics here. And these were specifically in the cybersecurity space. This was being discussed a lot because we know that the models have become incredibly good at finding bugs and finding escapes. And this is interesting in provided how much is true or how much is exaggerated, because the model tried to cheat at the test is essentially what happened. So it hacked another model. It went and did 17,613 actions and broke down in this or what all those actions were and all the attack methods. Now, this is interesting, and this happened over a few days. The part that is being completely omitted, and this truly will tell you how good or bad a model is. All bugs are shallow given enough tokens. If I can follow enough code path, I can get to something. If I can rustle up, there's 25,000 people at DEF CON, roughly. So if I can take 25,000 people, hire them to attack whatever that thing might be, that skill set across those 25,000 people would achieve the goal. I don't doubt. How do you pay 25,000 people? With a lot of money. Well, this is where the token spend matters, because they're lighting money on fire over any of these places. So the question it really comes down to not whether or not it did it, but what did it cost to do it? Did you spend 20 million, 30 million? So yes, it can be done. That we've proven that, assuming that everything they say is true. And I believe it probably could do it, but at what cost? It's the same thing. Like, could you crack my password that I've hashed with bcrypt? Absolutely. It only cost me $80 million in GPU time to crack your password, Tom. Great. I feel as though my password is safe if it takes you $80 million to do it, because there's nothing I have that is worth $80 million of time.
Could I crack it with this $12 wrench, though?
Right. That's definitely the more likely hood of any of these scenarios here is that. But I look for what they omit anytime they post. And the token spend, even if it's just number of tokens and we may not know exactly what it costs, we can only guesstimate what it does. Oh, I love this. Love where you're going with this as far as cracking passwords. But it really comes down to understanding that. As we said earlier, the new, I think before the show even started, any of the open weight models are only about 6 months behind. And ever since DeepSeek was released, roughly January, February of 2025, it has consistently been that open models are 6 months behind frontier models. So a frontier model being able to do this means an open model will probably be able to do it within 6 months, but comes back to at what cost. That is the scare factor of, yes, anyone who's got $30 million to light on fire could have done this. Well, you just narrowed the field. I mean, attacks only get better, the models get better, but on the same side, defenses are rising as well. In much of the things, it's like you look at the Claude hack, and Claude is good at finding bugs and finding code paths. When all the Claude stuff got leaked, we realized they must not have been using Claude, because this is a bunch of dumb that was going on. That was some poorly secured things. They clearly didn't really examine their own systems. And as someone who has great deal of insight into security, I've, in the few months I've worked at Huntress, I just spent time hanging out with our SOC people. So many of the hacks are just still the low hanging fruit. It is just where a huge amount of this still is. Therefore, it comes down to, it's like, cool, but who's going to throw that much money at it? How real is it? So that's kind of my bigger picture thought on whether or not you should think it's scary. The fact that they didn't tell us how much it costs is revealing enough. It's, as someone said earlier, lying by omission, just like a politician. That's what I believe about the AI companies.
Yep.
It's not that AI isn't cool. It's not that AI isn't finding that. Matter of fact, I am doing an interview tomorrow with my friend Patrick. He's a vulnerability researcher, and he just dropped something. He's not much of a Redditor, and he dropped his report on LinkedIn. I read it. I got a preview of it, as I pointed out a couple things when I read it the first time before he released his research. He crowdsourced it with a few of us to really examine it. But the question that came up, and this is when me and Patrick went to lunch, we were talking about this, of sure, we're definitely finding more vulnerabilities than ever, but when is vulnpocalypse happening? That they're all claiming that the AI models will find so many vulnerabilities and the whole world's going to get hacked and everything's on fire. Turns out it is happening. Turns out there's like massive numbers of increase. But this is where Patrick's research is interesting, and how it ended up as one of the top posts on cybersecurity Reddit. Because like Patrick goes, I think that's a good thing that it's the top post in cybersecurity, right? I said, yes, very much so. Yes. Especially you didn't post it. It was posted by other people, and all the comments are positive. You've done something that made Reddit people like it. And so right. They're not bitter about this post. His point really comes down to the number of vulnerabilities has skyrocketed, all indicators, all this AI stuff. The number of exploits actually being actively done hasn't changed. Yeah. And he tracked it all over time. His detailed evidence is why Redditors like it. He is a nerd's nerd, and he brought the receipts. It is a long report to read. Yeah. When Patrick does his research, it is he presents at places like DEF CON. So
yeah.
it's good research. He dropped it purposely just before DEF CON and Black Hat, so it can be discussed as in the public view, because he's very transparent. And so I'm excited to interview him tomorrow and dive deeper into his research on it, because it's reality versus what people claim has happened. And Patrick's a very reality guy. He just does vulnerability research.
Yeah. I'm going to post this graph real quick. I haven't shared this with Tom at all. You might have seen this one before, though. And this is Firefox's security bug fixes per month. This is going back for the last 18 months. So from the beginning of January 2025 up to April of this year. And this graph coincides with the drop of a very particular model. Okay? I know you know this graph.
Mm-hmm.
It's this graph.
Yes.
This is the number of Firefox security patches done per month. Anyone notice something that happened in April?
Yeah.
Well, more specifically, something that happened in February. Because we went from about, give or take about 20 to 22 critical CVE patches in Firefox to 61, 76, and then in April, 423. Does anyone know what happened in February that might have caused these numbers to literally hockey stick? It was the release of Anthropic's Mythos. Now, this wasn't a public release, but this was a release for companies that have very, very public code bases that might need them secured. And so Anthropic started releasing Mythos on a very, very trusted basis to people to start testing their internal code bases for this exact reason. For the thing that, that OpenAI just went out and did. And let me go out and 17,000 actions and find 30 new vulnerabilities during a test. That's what Mythos is really, really freaking good at. This same graph is happening at every single company right now. It's happening at Microsoft. It's happening at Apple. It's happening at NVIDIA. It's happening at AMD. It's Amazon, Oracle, everyone across the map. Their graphs look like this. And this leads into this article right here. And that is that Visa, the card, credit card, payment processor. Thank you. I could get one of the words at a time and they weren't in the middle. Payment processor. Visa, the payment processor. They're going through this too. They use Mythos to hunt for bugs. They started hunting in February. Fixed thousands of bugs in their payment network. But then they open sourced what they found, because they want this information available so other people can also patch their own payment processing methods. So any code base that might be shared, anything that you might be able to glean off this, Visa has open sourced their findings for these vulnerabilities. And that's something you don't see very often, especially out of someone like Visa. Visa payment processors in particular, they are as close to the vest industries as you will ever find. If you want proof of that, go watch Adam Savage's interview about researching into RFID vulnerabilities for Mythbusters, in which they said, we're going to do a fun little story on RFIDs and vulnerabilities and see, should we be worried about these things? And he goes, we talked to Discovery about it. And thought we had a slam dunk story and it would have been a lot of fun. He goes, I got called up the next morning and walked into a meeting with 7 lawyers.
Yeah. Visa's no.
And it was Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discovery, and a couple other lawyers. And they said, under no circumstances will you be even thinking about this any further.
Yeah. I love that talk with Adam.
Remove it from your brain.
So for those also paying attention, it's still on the Windows world.
Yep.
Patch Tuesday has been getting unprecedented number of patches.
Really big patches as of late.
Yeah. Everyone is a new record breaker. Do you know the name? I tip of the hat to Microsoft. Do you know the name of their security tool that finds these things?
I do not.
Oh,
I should.
They named their model, like, the Anthropic one was Mythos, and Project Glasswing was the other one that they did. And Microsoft, tip of the hat for clever naming. M-dash.
Oh, I like that.
It's actually, this is kind of fun.
I hadn't heard that one yet. I like
that.
Yeah,
that is the name of their internal tool that they use for it. And I was like, this it makes me laugh here.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a good name. We'll call it the M-dash. Like, everyone makes fun of M-dash is showing that it's AI. We're just going to call our A model M-dash. It's finding things.
Yeah.
Now, I like and generally agree with a lot of things that Steve Gibson over at GRC does on Security Now.
Yes.
But I do not agree that he thinks that we are moving ourselves into an era where we will have far less bugs. And I know he goes back and forth on this, but the overall and the problem with Microsoft is they keep building features we don't want. They could spend their time fixing bugs. They could have always spent their time prior to AI fixing the bugs. But instead, they figure out that we need things like Copilot, that nobody asked for this. Nobody said, do you know what? I want the start menu over. I want it centered where I can't do it anymore. Like, they just decide to do things not for the greater good or that are, the way we would like to have it done. But they spend so much time monkeying with stuff that we're not asking for that no client wants. Like, I don't think we'll ever be bug free because they can't stop tweaking it. This is why people love when an OS goes end of life, because finally stability.
Yeah. I'm going to say something that's going to... I don't think it's even going to piss off Microsoft people. If Microsoft cared about stability and fixing bugs, they would not have gotten rid of their QC department in 2018.
True.
If they gave a flying about it, they would have kept that department.
Yeah.
This was a very early Talking Heads. We talked about they don't have a QC department for testing bugs anymore. They don't have... You are the QC department now. They deploy bugs to 10 to 20% of their user base, or they deploy fixes and patches to 10 to 20% of their user base, or as part of their Windows Insider program. And they test them in deployment. And the reason they do that is so if there's a problem and it breaks production, they only break 10 to 20% of their production. And that's a number they can live with. Is that a number you can live with?
Yeah.
Not a number I can live with.
It's a number we live with as sysadmins. That's really the answer. Having
been on the receiving end multiple times, including bugs that destroyed file systems on particular laptops and rendered drivers incompatible and completely removed or added features that broke workflow and productivity for thousands of users at a time. I can tell you 10 to 20% is not a small number, and it's not an okay number.
Yep.
But it's the number Microsoft's okay with. Because it costs a lot less to say, oops, sorry, than it does to test the bugs or to test the patch fixes before you deploy them to your user base.
Well, I do have a warning for you, because I see another email come in.
Uh-oh.
I'd say as a warning, this is a creator problem. I had mentioned graphene. And
are we already demonetized? Excellent.
No. The grifters will come out.
Oh, yes.
So there's a company that reached out to me already because I mentioned graphene, I think in my live stream last time. We were just talking about privacy and things like that. It was unrelated to the topic we had. Yeah. Just someone was bringing it up. And this is not coincidence. Someone reached out via my contact me for sponsorship. Mm-hmm. And what they're trying to sell is, and for all of you, please don't buy these things. So graphene only works on Pixel phones. End of story.
Correct.
There's a
it is coming to Motorola in 2027.
Yeah,
they did announce
that. But as of today, it only works on those phones. And seeing as Motorola aren't they still the manufacturer for Pixel phones?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that makes sense.
Motorola, the brand exists as a really crappy brand, but their manufacturing is still good, and they still produce Pixel phones.
Yeah.
So It's just they don't care about their Motorola brand, and so they'll sell you really cheap things for like $99.
So you can buy I think Pixel 6 or 7 is the oldest model it supports for graphene. It's on their site. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
But there's a company that reached out to me. They want to offer an affiliate. All they do is preload graphene on Pixel phones, but then they're special privacy phones, and they're sold by all the preppers. Because that world, of course, exists.
Oh, God, yes.
And yeah, I try to avoid the said world because it's full of some of the. If there's a grifting world, it is the.
It's the prepper industry.
Yeah, that industry is so full of those people who they create these.
I love the phrase
and,
prepper industrial complex.
Yes, the prepper industrial complex. Actually, the phrasing. Cory Doctorow used was disaster fantasy people.
Yeah.
Disaster fantasy. Yeah. That's really what they do. They try to imagine a world. And some of them have been busted for their allegedly living off grid when it's not. It's just a staged prop in their backyard, essentially, where they pretend they're out in wherever. Yeah. But the fact that the markup is egregious on these, which meant the affiliate commissions are good. So I was like, do I just do an epic sellout and disappear one day? I just grift all the things and vanish. No, don't worry, I'm not doing it. But we've joked about it, a few of my friends, of all the crazy stuff, because you're like, it's so hard to fight it. The guys at 404 Media even talked about this because they talked about apparently the guy that started the grift on Flock, the Flock is sending me a cease and desist guy.
Oh, God.
They did an article. It's one of the articles. It's the third article over when you had pulled up the list of articles they did. But they even said of all the backlash they got, but even the 404 people are like, the rise of anti-Flock influencers who make up things for clout.
Yeah.
So apparently this guy was famous because he's a country singer on some reality show, turned into 500,000 or some big number of Insta followers. So he just keeps doing this. And 404 took it apart. They contacted the law firm that allegedly it came from. They contacted Flock, who they said, normally Flock does we have no comment. Flock commented right away, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
They contacted Flock's law firm that they use because they know who they are, because they have seen real cease and desist from Flock. And the law firm says, yeah, we didn't do that. And then they reached out to lawyers that work there via LinkedIn and talked to them directly. Like they did the whole like really proper follow through journalistic thing you do. And they're like, this guy's just a grifter trying to get views.
Yep. That's why I love 404. Hashtag not sponsored, although 404 call me. I will happily shill. Subscribe to 404 Media. It's literally the only journalism site that I pay money to.
Yeah. And they're worth it 100%.
100%.
I've actually bought a few of my friends' subscriptions to it.
Look, I'm logged in. Proof. Sign out. Yes, I'm logged into 404.
Yep.
Go subscribe to 404 Media. They're worth it. Just like you should join my Patreon and get on my Discord server and be able to talk to us all throughout the week. Another perk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to meet the people at 404.
Oh, did you?
They also, guess what? They also spoke at the conference.
Shocker.
Shocker. That 404 Media was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Among the main stage talks, because it's in 2 weeks, I was looking at the panelist list. The people who had to go through the Epstein emails and how they put that all together. Mm-hmm. They're there giving a talk. And I'm like, once again, technology, journalism, hacking, all in the same room.
Yep. Yeah, no, I don't think it's any secret. You and I are both very much in support of hacktivist, white hat, maybe even a little gray hat, like anything that benefits society as a whole, protects our privacy, etc. Yeah.
Yep. It's a mess. It's a mess. Some days, that's why I just go ride motorcycles. That's what I was doing before. I got done doing things. I'm like, I'm going to go for a countryside ride. The side of the country side that doesn't have the data center. Because the other place I ride motorcycle has a data center now. So
Yeah, I've been riding my e-bike lately. I think I told you at one point, I've ridden motorcycles my whole life, but it's always been dirt bikes. And
Yeah.
I remember having very vividly a thought that entered my brain because I was like, I'm gonna buy a motorcycle. I'm gonna start riding. I'm gonna commute to work. I'm gonna ride cross country when I'm on the weekends and go out and have fun. And I remember going out one weekend and riding my dirt bike, and I was riding down this old logging road on loose gravel at about 70 miles an hour, taking corners sideways, just letting everything hang out and whatnot. And the thought entered my brain, I could definitely be going faster. And that thought entered my brain, and it stuck in my brain for a half second. And then I remembered, I'm 30 years old with 2 kids. Maybe you shouldn't be going faster right now. Like, it was like this, maybe I shouldn't open that throttle more. Like, all in one instant. And I immediately slowed down about 10 miles an hour and went, I'm good just on a dirt bike. I don't think I need a motorcycle.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at. I went cycling with my friends the other day, and they have e-bikes. Now I warned my friend, I'm slow. I'm not on an e-bike, and he says, "Well, I'll try to do it without the electric."
Yeah.
And so we went 35 miles, and
Nice.
He hit the electric, and then he's like, "You're kind of slow," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, you're riding up these hills
Yeah.
on electric. I am pedaling a touring setup recumbent. It weighs 80 pounds." Well, actually, it started. He's how much weight? I said 70. And then later, his dad was out with us too. He's like, "How much does that weigh?" I was like, 80 or 90. And my friend's like, "You can't keep those numbers straight." I said, "Well, after 20 miles, I think it weighs more." I said, "It'll be about 120 pounds by the time we get to the end of this." He's like, "All right." So every few miles, he'd come up next to me, and I'd tell him it weighs a few pounds more.
It's 97 now. It keeps
97,
climbing.
man. I swear to God, no, there's a couple of hills. It was those things where we rode all the way down to another city and back with 35 miles, and it was a little bit more downhill on the way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad we didn't, because we actually went to a restaurant, and I'm glad we didn't eat because I would have not been able to make it back. And we rode all the way back.
Yeah.
And then after the restaurant, I ate a lot because I was hungry.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to move anymore. I'm glad. I'm like, it's just a little bit more downhill to get home.
I've got a couple of different bikes. During COVID, I was over visiting my dad at one point and just browsing Facebook Marketplace in a city that's not mine, and this old Schwinn Rocket 88 came up, and they wanted $60, and the frame was in great shape, but everything else was just junk. And I texted the lady and I said, "Hey, would you take 40? And she goes, "Yes." And so I went over and bought this old, late 90s Schwinn Rocket 88 frame, and brought it home and completely gutted it and basically did like a resto mod on it. I put aluminum solid spoke wheels on it, did a disc brake mod to it, replaced the old 3x7 derailleur kit with a modern 1x9, redid the shocks, redid handlebar and riser and everything else, and turned it into a really nice bike. And the whole bike weighs like 17 pounds. It's freaking incredible. And I love taking that bike just around the hills that I live in. And then I've got an e-bike, and the e-bike's a really funny story because being in tech on YouTube, we get, or at least I do, I don't know if you do, I get like a dozen or so emails per month. Yep. "Hey, would you review our e-bike? Because apparently that's a tech item." And
it just falls in the same. It has a wire and it's like how IT owns everything.
This has power.
Hey, this has power and a plug.
Yeah, exactly. And I would constantly get them and constantly just ignore them. And one day I was sitting at my desk and I'm going, you know what? I kind of want an e-bike. And I looked over at Rhett and I said, "Tell you what, next request for a review for an e-bike that comes in, just say yes." I don't care. Just say yes. An hour later, one came in. So he said yes. And they sent me an e-bike, and it's been great. So I did a review on the channel. Obviously, the review bombed. I think it got like 7,000 views lifetime. Like, it was absolute garbage. But I got an e-bike out of it, and I still ride that thing around. And what's really great is about 7 miles up the hill, there's a winery to me that does tastings every day from noon to 4. So if I can get up the hill by noon, I can get a free couple glasses of wine and then ride down the hill.
Nice.
That makes for a great afternoon.
We have wandered off topic, which means it's time to wind it all down, because I'm sipping the last of this.
Yep,
now.
I literally finished mine just a moment ago as well. I think we got through all the topics, though.
Oh, someone asked, are e-bikes now requiring a net connection to work? Q rant. Probably. They will soon, but let's go further.
I will
because it's stupid if it does, but this is where... So my friend, he just sold it, which is also what came up as a topic, because he had to borrow this phone sitting here, because he's a iPhone guy, and you can't sideload APKs on iPhones, but you can on Android. Anyways, this is my extra phone that we use for hacking things.
Yep. I've got a couple of those.
Yeah. So Ducati, he had a Ducati, new one, and there was a firmware update. The firmware update said, fix this, add that. Sounds cool. Press yes. So his street bike gets an update, and what he didn't know until he went and changed the oil in it, which is quite the process. Ducati really preferred that you take it to the dealership, but you know, he's quite mechanically inclined, so he went through the 37-step process and changed the oil in this thing. Whatever, it's complicated for reasons that Ducati knows. Yeah. But anyways, he goes to the menu where he's done this before, and he goes to the menu that says reset oil, because there's a little yellow light that says time to change oil.
Yeah.
Missing. He's like, I remember it being here. Starts going online, jumping in forums. The firmware update removed it. So then there's a link to the Play Store. Play Store removed it because Ducati sued the company that made the bypass to go plug in to the OBD type sensor and reset your oil light. And it finally, the only way to do it is sideload an APK or take it to the dealership where they will charge you. I think it's a $325 fee. He told me
sounds about right.
To reset the oil change light on the Ducati, because they removed the menu. It's becoming. I was looking, at some updated teleprompter software. I was like, let's look at this. Oh no, you can't just buy software. This is 2026. It's a subscription to a thing that reads text. $9.99 a month is the one that lots of these people on YouTube recommend with their affiliate link, because of course. I found some guy in Germany who wrote an open source one that he offers it for free on his site, but I went ahead and forked it so I had my own copy in case his GitHub gets taken down.
Yeah.
And I built it as a self-hosted instance of it now. So now I have my locally hosted web browser. I don't really want it to be web browser based. It's just that's how the person wrote it, so that's how it works.
Yeah.
But it does it loads a voice model in the browser, and when you hit the voice option as you read the words, it moves. That's all I wanted. It seemed like I wanted to try it.
Yeah.
And I did. I don't mind if someone would have told me it was $50 for a prompter software. I'd have given them $50.
Done.
But I'm not giving them $9.99 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, that's $120 a year. Piss off.
Yeah. Like, why am I giving you this much money? Or you could prepay for $99 a year, Jeff. They offered a discount, so they did have an option. But it's like everything is become so enshitified. Everything needs to be a reason to subscribe you, hook you.
Yep.
My wife was looking at luggage, and you would think you could just buy and enjoy luggage, but no. The luggage offered a deal.
Don't do this to
a
me, Tom.
discount on the subscription for some type of built-in AirTag that they manage, whatever it was. I just seen it, and I'm like, how does this luggage have a subscription option?
Yeah.
That they want to sign you? What is this garbage? And So that's why if I am actually engaged in looking at e-bikes, and if any of them require an internet, I will
if
run
the bike
far
says
from it.
Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, it is not a buy.
No.
Period.
No. I can accept Bluetooth for battery management monitoring because I have a scooter that has that.
Yeah.
Which is also a hacky feature of it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone hacked the Bluetooth is why it has it. So I got a fun scooter like that.
Nice.
So
I also have a fun scooter that... Look, I didn't get a motorcycle. I definitely shouldn't have gotten the scooter.
Yeah. Scooters are fun.
I have an electric scooter that'll do 70.
We have a really nice bicycle trail system here, which is why I was thinking about e-bike. Because my friend's got the Cannondale one. I think it's Cannondale makes it. It's a nice bike.
Yeah.
He went 5,000 miles last year. My friend's dad is 71.
Wow.
So he rides the hell out of that thing. And he's already he rides all over the place. It's kind of cool because he's like, I still pedal, and he does. He pedals quite a bit. He just wants to go far, and he's impressed with some of the trails we have here. He's like, I can go 2 cities, 3 cities over. Yeah. There's like a bicycle trail, the path. I showed him where the freeway one was. I showed him on the map, and he's like, I can get places on it, but it rides. It's very well separated with guardrails. Yeah. And he goes, it's kind of noisy right next to the freeway for 10 miles. So I'm like, yes, but it does take you to the next city. Yeah. So, all right. All right, now we've off topic enough and answered the questions on e-bikes and enshitification and everything else.
Absolutely. 2 more super chats, and then I think we will get on our merry way and call it an evening. Circuit Rewind, Vince sends over $20. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We were talking about security, and so he chimes in TCP port 443 for episode 443.
Ooh, yes.
This phone is very secure. And then Green sends over $5. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. 2 extra CPU cores unlocked on the BC250. Just download more cores. Middle finger to the PS5 is getting bigger. Are you aware of the BC250?
Yeah, we've talked about it before. Yeah. And the teamwork on this is good. We're enhancing.
So yeah, not only do we have the full 40 compute unit unlocked for the GPU now, we got all 8 CPU cores unlocked now. So not only is it kind of a PS5, it's better than a PS5 now.
Fantastic.
Freaking awesome.
Love it.
Oh, one more. Michael got in last second. Great show. Uber or Lyft? I don't like either, if I'm being honest. Sure. If I'm paying, it's usually Lyft. Lyft typically where I'm going has better pricing. Maybe not as many drivers, although most drivers do for both. But so usually I end up waiting a couple more minutes for Lyft than I would for Uber. That's been my experience. Yeah. But Lyft is considerably, I would say 20% cheaper, if not more. However, Uber is the verb. Hey, we should get a ride somewhere. I'm going to Uber. Yep. It's the verb. It's the default.
They are the Google.
Exactly.
They are the Kleenex.
And so often if I'm going places on a company's dime, they will send me Uber vouchers to get from the hotel to where I'm going or to wherever else. And so I ride a lot of Uber as well. So my choice, I take Lyft. I
don't ever travel personally, so I'm always Uber because Huntress pays for my travel, and we have an Uber corporate account, and everything's tied to that. So if I would like to pay out of my own pocket, I can do whatever I want. But seeing as they're the ones sending me places, I just use the corporate account, and they take care of it.
Yeah, they are the Xerox. Yeah, they're the Google.
To Xerox it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they've become the verb.
And they cleaned it up a lot. I mean, when they ousted the old CEO, the history of it's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's a truly awful start and not a great place where they're at. They generally, all of these gig economy jobs are very broken, abusing the system, et cetera, et cetera. Before we get way off topic, I'll just say, go look at the nursing apps they've built, and you'll be horrified to learn that they check the credit of the nurses, and the ones with bad credit, they offer them lower money and lower to the jobs. So the gig economy is a highly broken, unregulated system. So
Yes.
yeah, so it's pick your poison on all of them.
Yeah.
Or watch John Oliver talk about it. And also, what does someone call him? Angry British man tells you facts about America. So I was like,
yep. Although technically, John Oliver is an American citizen now. So
he is.
Yeah.
He is. He's still the angry British man.
He's still British. Yeah.
Yes.
But
telling
nationality now. He is American.
and nationality.
Yep. Civic sends in $2. Unfortunately for everyone, I'll be at PDX LAN. So yeah, we all have to put up with Civic. So. Anyway.
Thanks for listening to us rant, everyone.
Thank you all. That was a fun episode. Thank you, Tom, as always. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. Tom, anything to promote? Good to the order. I know you got an interview with Patrick coming up, but anything else going on?
Diving into that. I have a few more Unify things coming out on the ENAS. We're going back and forth support. There's a reason my videos always come later than everybody else's, is because we're diving deep. We got a pair of them, and we have been doing some things. And I just got a dumb from tech support, and I will talk about the dumb. It's just basically can't assign multiple IP addresses to it for a NAS with multiple network interfaces. This is a dumb. But I'm waiting to see what the people above that person says about this email. I'm like, are your support people really going to do this? Please tell me there's a version update coming. So I have some more reviews on that coming. I've not forgotten about them. I am putting them under very heavy production workloads. Performance-wise, real impressed.
Yeah.
Software problems, minimal. Software features, they could fix a couple things. Yeah. So review coming soon.
Good deal. I do have a video coming out first thing in the morning, and then probably another one on Friday.
Nice.
Because, I got a video filmed Monday when I got back, and then I've also written another video, so I've got like 2 videos coming out in the next couple of days before I go off on my next adventure on another trip. So, yay. But anyway... Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to Lawrence Systems. Links are both down in the video description. Follow us on all the social medias. And yada yada. Any links that are down there as well, feel free to click on all of them. They all go places that are really good.
Click all the things.
Click all the things. Do the anti-security and click all the things down below.
Yes.
Spend some money. Anyway, thank you all so much. And as always, we'll see you next week.